All right, folks. Doc Jones coming at you from the Doc Jones Studios, folks. Gonna come back at you, y'all. Thank you to all my 13 subscribers now. Thank you for the likes. The comments have been great. Very inspiring, folks. So thank you to each and every one of y'all, and to each and every one of y'all that are watching my videos. Keep hitting those like buttons. We can drag the algorithms up and spread some of these videos out so more people can check these out. But just very much thank you to each and every one of y'all. Thank you, folks. All right, I'm gonna bring you some news here tonight, and I'm gonna get to an article here on a massive explosion in our universe that occurred before before all of us were born. I mean, long time ago. And folks, on this virus thing, really the only thing at this point I have to say about the virus is that we are living in the days of great deception. And I want to give some shout outs real quick to Richie from Boston. You check him out, RFB or RFB2. He's got 2 channels. He's trying to spread the true news of what's going on, as well as the Big Sib. Shout outs to these 2 guys. I'm just starting to recognize them and the truth that they're spreading. Check these guys out. I mean, it's, everything's shut down. It's very strange. I mean, we could be headed for something like a natural disaster. We've had some quaking going on big time. There's a lot of reasons behind what we're going through right now, but I'm just saying it's a lot of deception out there. All right, folks, asteroids coming in. We had an asteroid 2020 FD. Oh, folks, let me timestamp this, y'all. Today is March the 18th, 2020 years. And I believe that's right, folks. I mean, time sped up for the sake of the elect. I don't know what to say. Sometimes I don't know really what day it is. But anyway, asteroid 2020 FD. This approached us apparently, I believe, yesterday, but it was the closest approach of this asteroid was only 158,000 miles from the Earth, and it was 55 feet in diameter. Came at us at over 34,000 miles per hour. But now we had another one that happened. It's going to happen today. I'm not real sure on the time of this asteroid. I thought it was maybe earlier this afternoon, but maybe it's later on tonight. This one, asteroid 2020 FG. And these are NEOs, near-Earth objects, NEAs, near-Earth asteroids. This one coming in at 52 feet in diameter, 33,000 miles per hour estimated velocity, and closest approach on this is only 341,000 miles from the Earth. Very close. And we're going to just move on from there, folks. One more YouTuber out there that I just started following, Esmeralda Martinez. And he has a lot of YouTube videos on volcanoes in Indonesia, Ecuador, Guatemala, Japan, UFOs, meteorites and asteroids, floodwaters, the fires in Australia that happened, the earthquakes recently in Puerto Rico and Albania. Check this guy out. These videos are intense. Check him out, folks. All right, I'm going to quickly move on to this massive explosion. The massive explosion I'm going to get to a little bit of information on this. This is, again, a massive explosion in our universe, outside of our Milky Way galaxy, in interstellar space. This is this massive explosion in the universe. It was like the most massive explosion ever recorded shout outs to Paul Begley and Mike from around the world who brought this to some attention to me and others several weeks ago. And I found a report. I'm not sure if this is everything that they had talked about, but it's space.com, a report on February 27th of 2020 from Mike Wall, a cosmic blast that dwarfs all others, he said. And this explosion occurred, bear with me folks, this explosion occurred out of the Ophiuchus cluster, 390 million light years away from us, Earth. And it appears the explosion came from a supermassive black hole in one of the cluster's constituent galaxies. And what this did was just jetted out radiation and material spewing from this light gobbling monster, the black hole. And it appears that they first saw that this had occurred back in 2016 when they first noticed that something was off in this cluster. And by the guy's name, Norbert Werner, he examined images by NASA and through Chandra X-ray Observatory, and he saw where an apparent blast had occurred, and because it formed this cavity. When he saw the cavity, he was like, okay, something had imploded, exploded from this cluster. And they verified the explosion was legit. I'm not sure the exact date, but they have recently verified that this is legit using X-ray data from telescopes in Europe, Australia, and India. And they're using radio data that fit with the X-ray data in that cavity, and it fit together perfectly into that cluster where that explosion occurred. They took the data and everything just fit right back in to that cluster, and they said, okay, this shows how they knew exactly that this size, that this had occurred a long time ago. It's headed toward us, and I can get more and more into more details on this explosion, but we hear more soft disclosure on things like this, and folks are saying this is a gate opener for the ones who are really paying attention. It's destabilizing parts of our universe. It's causing other explosions, and it's a cascading effect through our universe headed toward us, toward our galaxy. And of course, my last video I discussed about magnetars, and that's some of the same kind of effect. And you already have other stars out there that are ready to explode. Well, with this explosion, it could cause, it could cause other explosions. And folks, that was a ding right there. We've had more massive quakes in the Yellowstone area, in the Utah area to be exact. And that was the report you just heard the ding on. But again, a massive explosion in our universe, over 390 million light years away. But as time has gone by, it's getting closer. We're getting soft disclosure on a debris field, which I discussed in my last video. Now, folks, continuing on, as we look at the solar eclipses, we had a solar eclipse happen back on August 21st, 2017. The next one is April 8th, 2024, a 7-year span. Has America been marked? Has America been marked? Could we have these 3.5 years of prosperity, which we mostly kind of have, and now the last 3.5 years, are we going to have famine? Is famine? We've already seen famine. Now we're starting to be affected by famine-like conditions. Has America been marked? I'm going to go over more details about this debris field in my next video, and I may try to post a picture of the debris field picked up by our Soho stereo H12, and that uses sonar beams to visualize what we are seeing in outer space out there and interstellar space. We'll get into more of that next video. Okay, folks, 10 minutes in. I'm going to try to go a little bit farther because I want to really get to this. First, earthquakes. I'm going to go back to the 17th. Just yesterday, we had a 6.0 quake in the region of Samoa. We had a 5.6 quake in Chile. And that 6-point quake near the Samoa region, that was now the first 6.0 quake or greater dating, and I believe this is correct, dating back to last month, February 23rd, with a 6.0 in Turkey. This is the first time now a 6.0 or greater. Now today, March 18th, 2020 years, we had a 5.7 quake occur in Utah, near Magna, Utah, with 20 plus more quakes occurring, aftershocks occurring after the 5.7 today. That continued. We had a 6.1 near Vanuatu and a 6.3 in the Indonesia region, of course, the Ring of Fire region. That's in Bali, Indonesia, 6.3. So here we are, the middle of the month, massive quakes, to an extent, I would say massive. But really, you never really know what the exact magnitude is. Deception, folks, is there, and sometimes we're not even sure if they lowered the magnitude just to keep us from understanding more. But okay, the last thing I want to get to, folks, sorry to hold y'all up tonight, but I did a report couple of months ago about manna falling in Africa, and I just wanted to do an update on that real quick. This manna, we hear about it in the Bible. God supplied manna to the Israelites, and there are recordings of manna throughout pages of our Bible, and God taking care of his remnants. And this manna, there was a report of manna falling, excuse me, folks, this back in the 1930s and 40s. A newspaper reported from a divine providence in Angola, Africa. And the report read on the newspaper from 1939, I believe, manna falls in Africa. It appears it has also fallen in the Uganda area. It appears some of this could be recent, but again, back in, we're going to look at, it appears manna had fallen in Angola since 1939 at an Adventist community church in Namba, Angola. And this manna, you can go on YouTube, maybe parts of the internet, and you can see pictures of the manna. Some of it was like flakes. It was white. It was yellowish in color too as well. It was almost like they had some croutons in their hands. The manna, they said, was very sweet like honey. And it said also that the manna that fell, depending on how the church's walk with God was how sweet the manna would be when it fell on Wednesdays and Fridays, but not on the Sabbath day. And of course, these, like I said, these are reports from 1939 out of Angola, and it appears, like I said, it may have even currently have been falling recently over the past several years even. Again, we don't hear about any of this stuff in our mainstream. We never will. But there's an interesting report. There was a published report from that Angola church on February 24th, 2014, that reported what I just mentioned. And in Uganda, there was a published report September 5th of 2018 saying that it fell daily. But there must have been some areas there. They were praying, they were needing food, and it has continued to fall out there near this church in Angola, as well as over in Uganda. And yeah, so I'll come with maybe some more information on that. Just very interesting, folks. We can't get our toilet paper, we can't get our hamburger meat, we can't get certain things, but hey, God, He takes care of His children, He takes care of us, folks. So let's trust in Him during these tough times, whether what we hear is true or not. We just got to keep our eye on Christ, because He's going to be back here very, very soon, folks. So everybody just hold on tight, and I'm just going to keep bringing some more news at you as quick as I can. So y'all have a good night and be safe out there.